Hey everyone, so today's video is on spiritual development and I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks, I guess we could call it, on things to help you when it comes to connecting with spirit and also around manifesting. I think something that's really interesting when it comes to the afterlife or spirit world, whether it's connecting with spirit guides, angels, other beings, aliens, whatever that is. At the end of the day, all we can do is interpret how we receive information. That's all anyone can do. And so it's really important that when we are working through this and kind of navigating our way and connecting with different spirits, that you trust yourself more than you trust what anyone else says. Because even as psychics and channelers, the information we receive is still filtered through our own third dimensional conscious mind. Every time you're turning to, a psychic, a medium, a channeler, a healer, whatever that is, a part of you is also, at times, not always, but handing over your own power. Because there's something in you that you want all the answers and you're feeling unfulfilled. And so you're wanting someone else to tell you or to piece the puzzle together for you. And I understand that because you can feel very lost. And that's why a lot of people do come to see me when they're feeling lost. But rather than me just telling them what's going to happen, I offer their different timelines. So they themselves are the ones who choose what they want to align with, given the different options that I'm being presented or shown. But at the end of the day, everything anyone receives is still filtered through their own conscious mind, even channelers. Because what happens is, what I've found is the language of the universe isn't English, and it's not through verbal communication. So I'll say that again. The language of the universe isn't English, and it isn't through verbal communication. The language of the universe is done through frequency. It's experienced through energy, and that comes to us through signs, synchronicities, dreams, deja vu, and intuition. So this is how we start to receive information and start to connect with whatever that is, the other side, spirit, beings, angels, whatever you want to call it, whatever your beliefs are around that. So you will start, through your journey, you will start to have these experiences pulled into your field through one of those ways. It's not like all of a sudden you start seeing all this information coming to you, or these visions. It's not necessarily how it happens. You start to experience things dropping in through your awareness. And then it's almost going to leave you with, well, what does that mean? I don't understand. Give me more. What does this sign mean? And you'll probably go onto Google and start researching it all. But that's the thing. We're not always meant to know because we don't understand it. So a lot of the time the information's coming in, it feels good because you're getting your signs, the synchronicities, the intuition that you got has then happened. So you're getting all of this validation and confirmation. But sometimes when it comes in, we don't know what it means. And that's what you have to understand. We don't know because it is a different language. It's coming through in a frequency. We can't decode what a frequency is. I once had a being come to visit, and it was very late at night or very early hours of the morning. And it actually scared me because I saw what looked like a big shadow walking outside the window. Very tall, very skinny being. Nothing I've ever seen or communicated or connected with before. But the noise that it made was almost very robotic, and I can't even articulate how it came out. But it wasn't a language, And how I took that was that it was its own language and communicating, but I don't know what it was saying, and it's not for me to interpret or understand what it was saying. Maybe later I will, I don't know. But just because something comes in doesn't mean I'm going to understand it or make sense of it straight away. When you guys are connecting with your spirit guides or whoever you want to kind of connect with, often, like I said, the signs and the connection, communication will come through feelings, knowing, signs, synchronicities, things like that. So you will get something and then you will question yourself of, oh, is that my spirit guide, or is that an angel, or is that this, or it's that. And the important thing here is that you start to feel into what is coming in for you and who you feel that is. It doesn't matter what someone else tells you it is. They don't know. They don't know. That's your experience, your journey. That's important that you feel into that. And I think this is the, fascinating but also frustrating thing about the universe is, as humans, we want answers. We want to know because we want to go, I can relate to that. I've experienced that and it's this. We want to share stories. We want to label things. That's what we do as humans. But the thing is, with the universe, we really don't know. And what we do know is very little of what actually is. Scientists don't know. So we don't know about the afterlife exactly. We don't know what people see as they pass. We don't know who reincarnates or who doesn't. We don't have complete answers around that. We can't explain consciousness or how it works, and people pick things up on different sides of the world and are connected to the same thing. We really don't know. And that can be very frustrating for those who want answers and want the truth. But this is the beautiful thing. It's all about your own interpretation. It's about what you're offering and what you are connecting to and how that impacts you on a daily basis. I did a post last night on Instagram and it was around everyone's wanting to find their purpose, and we're often told, I'll help you find your purpose, or you do my course and you'll figure out what your purpose is. And it's putting so much pressure on people to find their purpose. But what does that achieve? Will you find your purpose? If you do find your purpose, what will you do with that? Will you still be searching for something else after that? Or is everything going to come into fruition for you and you feel like you're nailing it all? We don't know. But again, I feel that, if we're here now, we don't always have to have a specific purpose. I believe that our purpose is more of experiencing life, experiencing things, working, being a mother, going through health things, going traveling, exploring, adventures. The more experiences we have, the more things we are adding along the way to build our experience and enjoy life, because life is precious. So it is for me more about the experience of life and moving through whatever you are presented with. Understand what is going on within and stop looking without. Stop going externally and trying to fill all these voids of what you think you should be doing. And more so just start being you. Personally, I've noticed that the biggest growth I've had on my own journey is when I stopped paying attention to what was going on externally. I stopped watching things. I stopped doing podcasts. I stopped reading things. I stopped listening to other people's experiences or their teachings. And I really just sat on my own and felt into what feels right for me. Even though I've been taught this way my whole life of spirit guides are this, I started to question things. Okay, but that's still only someone else's perspective based on their own level of consciousness. So just because they're filtered through that way, it doesn't mean it's the only way, or it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't make it factual. So for me, it was really pulling back from all the other noise and sitting with myself, listening and understanding and feeling into what feels right for me. And the more I did that, the more I'm pulling away from, I guess, the modern new age spiritual movement, because that, to me, that felt very limiting. That felt very like, well, this is it, and this is it, and this is it. And I don't like that. I want to move into something where it feels free, it feels expansive, and it feels mine. So I encourage you to really try and do the same thing. Sure, take on other little bits and pieces from people's experiences along the way, but there has to be a time when you stop searching externally and start looking internally for your own answers and your own truth and your own beliefs and perspective based on your own level of consciousness. For an example, say you and I are sitting down at a restaurant across the table from one another, right? And so my view of what's going on is filtered through my own eyes, through my own awareness of what I can see on this side, from you and around this side of the restaurant. Okay, and what you can see is going to be coming back, and what you can see of me and behind and what's going on over here. So we're in the same restaurant, same time, travel, space, everything like that, but we are seeing different things because of it's our own perception. It's what we can see. It's what we are viewing, what we are aware of. One isn't right over the other. It's just what you're able to see and experience for yourself. Around manifesting, when we speak of manifesting, I've already mentioned what I believe manifestations are. I believe manifestations are you and your ability to tune into your future self, and that aspect is then pulled into your conscious awareness, and you get an image or a quick flash or a feeling or a knowing of something. Then that then becomes your reality, and you say, oh, I thought of that, or I knew that was going to happen, or that's what I wanted. It's because it's your journey, your timeline, your viewing of your future self being shown what is available to you, and then you consciously bringing that into your awareness. So when people say, people who teach manifestation courses, a lot of the time they'll say, like, be really clear in what you want. But around this, right? So see if this resonates with you. But for me, be clear in what you want is good in the sense of when I'm shown, when it drops into my intuition and I'm seeing what is happening, it may be fleeting few seconds, or I may be able to hold that for a minute. When that comes in, it is clear on what I'm getting. It is clear on what I'm seeing. But if I'm using my third dimensional conscious mind to dream up of something, what I'm doing then is I'm sitting in a vibration and a frequency of control and force, and that isn't aligning to what it is that I'm wanting to draw in. Because what comes into our field comes to us. We don't chase it. It comes to us, just like any form of intuition does. It drops in. So when people say be clear on what you're wanting, it's because they've already received, whether they're conscious of it or not, they've received the information that's already come into their field, into their awareness. They already know, they've seen it. So yes, it's easy to be clear when it's already in your field. But if I was to try and force something, I'm going to shift a different frequency, and it's going to lower. It's going to be keeping me stuck in some kind of control and force, which is not going to get me what I'm wanting. And a good example of this would be, I want to go back to this other thing first. There's also this saying, like, believe you deserve it and the universe will serve it. So you've got to believe you're worthy of something. Personally, I know I'm worthy of a lot of things. It doesn't mean I'm able to get them into my field, because I can only view what's already ahead of me. I can only view my future self and the possibilities and option of what's there. That is the destiny. I can't force or change something else to come into my field unless I'm forcing it. So yes, I know certain things are going to be coming into my field, and it just depends on the timeline when that actually becomes my reality. But for me to sit and will something is a form of control, and it's a form of attachment. I've become attached to something. I'm not going to get that. I can believe I'm deserving and worthy of winning the lotto. How come we can't manifest the lotto? Because it's not available to us. And if we were consciously in control of our manifestations, then I would be winning the lotto. And so would many of you. Because you deserve it, you want it, you see it, you're acting like it's already yours, you're clear on what it is, but it's not happening because it's not meant to happen for you. And what happens is, if it was meant to happen, you would have this very strong feeling and knowing. You would get this, I've got to buy a lottery ticket. It would just come out of nowhere like intuition does, and it would drop in your lap. You ask the people who win lotto, did they manifest that? A lot of the time, no, they didn't. They had this will or desire to buy a ticket, and then they often even forget that they've purchased it. So they're not controlling that. That is something that's coming to them. So if lotto was destined for me, I would have it coming to me. I would have this feeling, this knowing, it would drop in, and then I would let that go because I'm not going to be attached to it. I know it's already coming. And when it does, I'd be like, I knew that. I already knew that. When people say act like it's already yours, the thing around that is when it is on your timeline and you are picking up and tuning into that future version of self, it is yours. So it already is yours. Again, you don't have to force something with your third dimensional conscious mind of, okay, act like it's already mine. Act like it's mine. You're forcing it. That's not how it's going to come in for you. So the more aligned you are with yourself, the more self-awareness you have, the more you are sitting, meditating, connected, being present, the stronger your abilities and senses will become. And the more attention you pay on your senses and what you're receiving, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, the stronger that is going to become. That is then how you start to view the future experiences for yourself, because you're in tuned and you're connecting and aligning to your timeline, because it's all you, it's your journey, it's your experience, no one else's. You will start to have flashes and images and intuition dropping into you of things that are going to happen, and that will become your reality. And when we speak of psychics, channelers, and mediums, and when you go and have a reading, I can't speak for everyone, so I can speak for myself because this is my experience. So when I am reading for someone, the information I'm getting is on, I guess, their timeline, that future self, the opportunities that are there for them. But again, if they're not aware of their own opportunities that are coming, they're going to choose path A instead of path B, and that is fine. But the opportunities from path B won't be coming in if they've gone path A. And when I'm tuning in and connecting and receiving messages, again, it's through my own interpretation. If I've got one of their loved ones in spirits connecting, how that comes through is visions, words, knowing, feelings, images. This is how it comes through. And so I can only interpret what I am receiving or what I am shown. And what I'm tuning into is the frequency that they are vibrating on. The frequency they are vibrating on. So I have to align my frequency to be on that same frequency in order to receive the information, the stream of information. Not always words that are coming through. It would be a hell of a lot easier if it was words, but it can be quick images or quick flashes of things. And I'm like, oh, I've got a yellow beach ball, or I'm getting a red rose, or I'm getting a bird, or whatever that is, right? And I have to then filter what that feels like in my own body through my senses and what I'm drawing in, and then interpret and relay that to the client. So it's very hard to connect. And once that connection is there, it's strong, but it can only be maintained for a period of time. I can't hold it forever. And then sometimes more information will come through. Sometimes they are shouting certain words, and that is very strong and very clear. Other times, the way that I feel into their energy gives me the answers or the interpretation of how they are feeling. So again, it's still filtered through my own perception of what I'm receiving, what I'm open to receive through my senses. So when you have a loved one and you're maybe laying in bed or thinking of that person and saying like, I really want to connect with them, you will at some stage be able to feel them around. You might feel like the air has changed. You might feel a sudden, wind kind of going past you just suddenly and briefly with no windows open or anything. You may smell their scent momentarily. You might hear their voice. They might say your name or one word and you'll think you're going crazy, but you're not. You might hear other odd sounds of them trying to connect and communicate. You may see different colors appearing, specks or flashes of light. You might actually see an outlay of a person. You might see their spirit or their ghost. Or you may have a dream about them, and that is, we know when we are dreaming, we are tuning into the frequency. So our souls are meeting together in our dream state. So that is how you're receiving information. You won't necessarily see them sitting at the end of your bed saying, hi, I missed you, I'm so sorry about this, or I want this to happen, or blah, 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 blah. It's not going to come out that way. We can't connect that way. We can't communicate that way. So it's done through feelings, through sensations, through signs, through synchronicities. It's done through the frequency. That is how we connect. So the more you start to pay attention to the little things that are coming through, the stronger those things will get for you. The stronger they will build, the stronger they will become, then the stronger your knowing will be of who you are connecting with. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. If you have liked this video, please like it and also please subscribe to my channel. Appreciate your support. Bye.